We got this story from the New York Post. Lefties celebrate Trump shooting with tasteless social media posts about John Wilkes Booth. Close to being the best day ever. Shockingly insane. Yo, this is terrifying stuff. And most prominently, Destiny, the omni-liberal. A man who many have held up as a liberal willing to debate conservatives. And I will say this, Destiny, you've lost your mind. And I feel bad for you. I seriously do feel bad for you. I'm going to show you some posts that are shockingly offensive. Not that I think you guys care. We're all adults here. We can handle being offended. Here's a post from Andy No. Before I show you the most egregious actions of Destiny. He posts, as top staffer of a Mississippi Democratic congressman who introduced a resolution to strip Trump of Secret Service protection, wrote, she wished the shooter had better aim. Jacqueline Marsaw, saying she doesn't condone violence, but please get you some shooting lessons so you don't miss next time. Oops, that wasn't me talking. There are numerous videos of leftists saying the exact same thing, screaming, saying, how could you have missed? You want to believe that they don't really mean it. So something I said at the beginning of the live stream before the segment. People say he missed. I get it. He was aiming for Trump and he missed. But I don't like saying that because they hate all Trump supporters. And it's not even about Trump supporters. I don't view myself, I don't identify as this MAGA guy waving a flag. Yet I tweeted, if Donald Trump can take a bullet for you, you can take the time to go out and vote for him. There are a lot of things about Trump I do not like. But man, are we so far beyond this? I don't see myself as this diehard Trump supporter. I've got some serious criticisms. We bring libertarians on the show all the time to criticize him. It's just wild to see these people. They want all of us, even me, dead. Now, let me pause for a second. I'm not saying all Democrats. I'm not saying every voter. I'm not saying every American. I am saying there's a contingent of far leftists who are violent. There is a contingent, to whatever size that may be. I don't know. I don't believe that Ro Khanna is wishing for any violence on anybody. I certainly think there are Democrat politicians who want this to happen. I do. I think the most rank and file Democrat members of Congress and Democrats don't want this to happen. I don't think most people want violence or pain. And this is my point. The rock and the hard place position for Democrats is these people on the left are celebrating this. And Democrats must disavow. Joe Biden has pulled his attack ads, issuing a statement. In fact, my friends, you need to watch Biden's statement because he almost said, we need to make America great again. I'm not kidding. He said something like, and so we need to make America, make it as it used to be, as it should be. Something like that. Carpe Donktum tweeted, he almost said make America great again. And I'm like, I caught that. Wow. Democrats don't want the violence. So what does that mean? They have to disavow this element of their voter base. They're going to lose votes. Frank Luntz, the pollster, was asked, and he put out a tweet thread saying, I'm getting inundated with media requests about what I think this will do to the polls. He said, so I'll just put a thread here. He said, there is no distinction anymore between a Trump voter and a Trump supporter. Every Trump supporter is now a Trump voter. And those that were maybe voting for Trump that weren't sure are now Trump supporters. He says this action can account for a 1 to 2 point bump in all polls that you won't see. That will manifest. You know, some people pointed out after Reagan was attacked, he wins a landslide. You know, I don't know. But let's talk about the most egregious example of mental breakdown. And that's Destiny, the omni-liberal. Destiny made a series of posts to his 252,000 followers. He tweeted, a person in a crowd cheering for and supporting a traitor to his country caught astray. I'm so sad. Ian Miles Chong called it brain rot. He said, I'm sure Corey and Babbitt are both having fun with each other in hell right now. Smiley face. Someone asked him if that's the hill he wanted to die in. He says, don't you mean the bleachers? He's lost it. Here's a post from Reddit. Someone commented on Destiny's Reddit page saying, my friend's mom was right next to the guy who got killed. Destiny responded to him saying, don't ever come back and tell your friend and his mom to get effed. That's amazing, isn't it? I'll tell you what I think. I think Destiny, the omniliberal, is suffering a mental breakdown. I think it's unrelated to the events of Trump's rally. I think the man lost his wife. I don't know the full circumstance. I don't know exactly what happened, but those are the rumors going around. And I think he's in a deep depression because what he's doing doesn't endear him with his audience. It doesn't bolster his business. It doesn't advance his cause. It doesn't express any serious ideas. It's pure antagonism and shock that does nothing. Seems more that Destiny himself is deeply depressed and upset. So he's lashing out. Clint Russell, with quite honestly one of the best posts pertaining to the idea of democracy and Trump democracy and all of these things. Shout out to Clint Russell, Liberty Lockdown Podcast. Guys, he made an excellent post and an excellent point I want you to hear. He posts. So I just perhaps stupidly spent an hour in Spaces debating Destiny. First off, he's in a really bad place. No, I don't say that to elicit sympathy for him, just being honest. He repeatedly wrote off the loss of life yesterday and claimed with all sincerity that anyone who supports Trump is essentially subhuman, worthy of disdain, if not assault. The only worthwhile aspect of the discussion was when I challenged him on the following. You claim that Trump is a danger because he's a threat to democracy. 70 million people voted for him, and he's the favorite to be the next president. So why is democracy worth defending? The obvious self-defeating argument led him to acknowledge that, in fact, democracy is not an inherent good. It is the tyranny of the majority. If that majority is evil, then democracy is evil. I write all of this just to explain that the entire, quote, we must defend democracy talking point has literally nothing to do with democracy. It is simply about power. A verbal cudgel used entirely to justify their not even slightly veiled intention to dominate you. Remember that. Destiny the omniliberal, saying Trump's a threat to democracy. All of the Democrats and the media Democrats saying Trump is a threat to our democracy. Okay, Trump's up in the polls. Democracy has decided Trump should win. So what are you saying? I agree. I like democracy now. I love democracy because Trump's winning. Does that make sense to you? Doesn't make any sense at all. They don't have an actual argument, and Clint hit that one out of the park. So what are we seeing now? Why is Destiny lashing out, cheering for this death, mocking the victims, laughing about it? Again, I think he's probably just depressed over his wife or something. And it was a little while ago, but life must not be so good. Something's deeply troubled inside of him. He's a deeply angry guy, solving nothing. But when we see all of these people say they want Trump harmed, they're telling you outright. When you see Democrat staffers, when these people on the left are outright just posting this stuff, celebrating it, they're not defending democracy. Trump's the front runner in the polls across the board. Democracy has not yet been done. It's not like a real democracy, it's a democratic election. But right now, if you want to defend democracy, you'd say, well, look, people want Trump. Instead, they're hoping that someone causes him great harm. That's the opposite of democracy. Right. They don't want democracy. And they've very simply proven it, haven't they? They certainly have, my friends. Now, my fear, I suppose, is how this escalates. And there's two worlds about it. It may get better. When this all went down, it's Saturday, we had just arrived. We had arrived a couple hours, a handful of hours before all this went down. We got to our hotel, we dropped our stuff off, we got some food, and like I said, I went to go hang out with the boys and play some good old 1-3 they got over at Potawatomi. One of the reasons I wanted to go is because I enjoy the game, it's recreational, and I have fun playing. But a lot of politicians, they're throwing money around. That was interesting, and we did see a little bit of that. When the news broke, we had a conversation about leaving. Should we pack up and fly back right now? Security is going to be nuts. It's crazy. And I was leaning towards it. We spent a lot of money to come out here. It's very, very expensive. We didn't need to. But I think it's important. It's an important place to be. I will not be at the DNC because of the riots. I ultimately decided, no, we should stick around. Why? Well, I'm not so sure that things will get worse. They may get better. You know why? Sensible Democrats do not want violence. They just hate Trump. I mostly blame the media, but even if it's not, and you don't like him, you're allowed to not like the guy. Libertarians got a lot of criticisms. To be fair, a lot of the libertarians who do have now decided they're going to vote for him. Shout out to Jeremy Kaufman. Who else are you going to vote for? Chase Oliver? That's not happening. But anyway, a lot of criticisms for Trump. But here we are. Regular Democrats don't want to live in a world with extreme violence. It's scary. Sensible people in public don't want to admit that they're for it. It's scary. There's a viral video where a guy confronts a woman in Home Depot. I think it's a Home Depot. I'm not sure. And he asked her name, and she goes, yes. And he goes, you posted online, you wished the shooter had better aim. And she's like, I'm working. You don't want to say it in public, do you? You don't, do you? These people who go online and say these things will never admit it in public. And what does that mean? Maybe they'll vote for Biden in secret. Fine. But that means the media narrative shifts. And the default liberals who are, they hate Donald Trump for the wrong reasons because they're getting fake news. They are now going to be in a world where the media is saying, we're all MAGA now. So this shift in the polls for Trump is going to be bigger than we realize. Bigger than we realize. We got a lot going on today. The charges being dismissed against Trump. He's winning across the board. He survived. We are lucky. For this last segment, I'll just tell you, my friends, I was welling up when I saw Trump raising his fist. I felt fear for this country when I saw what had happened, when it was going down. I felt pride when I saw that man stand up and raise his fist and say, fight, fight, fight. I love this country. Donald Trump, what are they saying? He's built different. I'm more excited than ever to cast my vote for that man in a state where he's already going to win. I'm in West Virginia, baby, second most Trump supporting state in the country. I think Trump is an imperfect guy. I think he's done some bad things. I think it's very important we criticize him for those bad things. But he's my president. He's a strong president. He did the best job I've seen in my lifetime. And he will be our president again. Here's hoping. I'm going to wrap up this last segment. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show. Become a member at timcast.com. I imagine the members' call-in show tonight after IRL is going to be very, very interesting. And when you're a member at timcast.com, you're supporting all of this and allowing us to be here. 6 figures, more than 6 figures it costs to get the crew, to build the studio, to get down here, to get the convention, the conference space. It's not even the biggest or best conference space, but they're doing right by us, so I appreciate it. And we have to fly everybody out. Some people had to drive. We have some sponsors for the night. Shout out to Vault Drinks. Shout out to Mike Lindell and My Pillow. We're very grateful for their support and helping make this happen. I think we'll still make a little bit of a loss in all this, but the reality is we do this not because we are looking forward to buying a Ferrari or anything like that. It's because this is it. This is what you do. This is what you buy. When you have the opportunity, when people support you and they give you money, you go on the mission. Not everybody does, but at least we do here at Timcast. And if you want to see us do it, become a member at timcast.com, because that membership is what brings us here to the RNC, to be here at this most pivotal moment. Thanks for watching this segment. For those that are watching live, stick around. I got some super chats for you to read, and we'll see you all tonight, 8 p.m., youtube.com/TimcastIRL.